Copyright laws that apply to vinyl tapes and CDs also apply to MP3. The MP3 codec was made by Thomson and Fraunhofer. Then there's the WMA, which is used by Microsoft, Music Match, AOL Music Now, and even Walmart in their digital download service. The MP4 format, the AAC, it's advanced audio codec that's used by Apple. That's variable bitrate developed by Fraunhofer and Dolby in 2004. That is widely used by Apple's iTunes service. The iPod, the big winner there, Apple, here on slide 25. 10.2 million sold. That's the 2009 figure. $9.87 billion in revenue. That's also 2009 figures. There's also varieties of that. The Shuffle, the Nano, the Touch, the iPhone, and now the iPad and iPad 2. It has exploded, and the diffusion of innovation there is incredible. Slide 26 here. Wireless digital media. March 2009, Europe's Vodafone partnered with major labels to put that out there. Verizon has the Vcast. iPhone has iTunes. There's the Android phones. And something that wasn't in the book here, Google even now has a music service. All legal in ways to put music out there faster. There's also the hard disk media players. In 2004, 30 companies. This is on slide 27. In 2010, more than 150 companies. The leaders there, the Microsoft Zune, obviously the Apple iPod, the biggest one, the Creative Zen, and then portable media players. And with that, the rise of podcasting. And even for the church, that's meant so much to get messages out. More and more churches are podcasting. And some of the most downloaded content on the internet, aside from, well, the obvious and appropriate stuff, are podcasts of preachers. Some of the most recent developments, well, Atlantic Recording versus XM Satellite Radio, broadcaster and digital download subscription services, unfair competition. That was part of the Sirius XM merger. The Performance Rights Act, this is interesting too. They want to put a performance tax on what you hear on radio. NAB very much against that. Grants performers equal rights to compensation from terrestrial radio. And even if you're a mobile DJ, you'd have to pay that tax. It was voted out of committee in 2009, but it's something that some legislators have wanted to bring back. That's just a wait and see on that. DRM Free Music, digital rights management, encryption-free CDs, digital download. In 2008, Amazon and Apple offered DRM Free Music. Consumers not free having to purchase music. What that means is if you subscribe to the service, then that comes without the digital rights management software. Wireless and digital subscriber-based services here on slide 30. Well, you have the BlackBerry PureTracks, AT&T Napster, Print PowerVision. Then there's the subscription services, Napster, Rhapsody, Zune Pass. Amazon even has theirs as well. File sharing. It's interesting, taking a look at slide 31, that they've actually seen a 25% decline in online file sharing in 2009. There's ISP-based monitoring services and just the survival of file sharing services. A lot of them have been sued, have been put out of business. LimeWire was a popular service. That just went out in the past few months. But there's always some sort of new service. But more and more people seem to be buying music online. And sometimes it's the quality factor of that too. There's another discussion about the ethics of file sharing and stealing and what's it's actually done to the industry. Current status on slide 32. Steady sales despite tough economic time. Home audio sales have slipped by about 1.3%. Again, these are 2009 figures. The household penetration of MP3 portable media players up 46%, and I'm sure that's even more. Nielsen SoundScan says digital music accounts for 40% of music purchased. It's incredible the diffusion of innovation here and just how many people are adopting digital audio. Even more and more cars coming with services to be able to stream music. Music company revenue on slide 33 from digital channels are double that of films, newspapers, and magazines combined. 18% of users 13 plus actually buy music digitally. They don't, well, always pay for it. Overall music market revenue fell by 30%. 1 out of 5 online users engage in P2P. person-to-person file transfers. 1 out of 5 users engaging in it. Piracy is rampant. Some of the factors to watch on slide 34. Apple, the iPad, and the iPad 2. The purchase of Lala.com matches songs from online consumers and access it globally. Some of the apps that they have out there too, like the Shazam app, where you can literally take your iPod or iPad, hold it up to a song, and it will tell you what song it is. Some incredible, innovative technology. Spotify and radio coming into the US. More and more people using the free versions of that. Social music playlist services, MySpace, Facebook, and Playlist, and how you can integrate Spotify on Facebook now. File sharing, it's still going on despite the lawsuits. And that leads to my question, and I'll give you some thoughts on this. What do you feel the proper balance of regulation is in order to protect the rights of composers and musicians, while at the same time not inhibiting technological innovation? From my perspective, it seems that regulation is always about 10 steps behind innovation. And I think it's going to be always hard to crack down on copyright infringement. But I think, by and large, here's the thing. The people that are going to buy music will always buy music. But they want to be assured that it's going to be quality. And services like iTunes allow for that. The people that wouldn't buy music otherwise are going to steal it online. But it is tricky how you fight that and combat that. And I think sometimes the record companies have to take some fault for not jumping on the digital music bandwagon a little bit sooner and not developing those technologies. Because I think had you developed those technologies and had someone been a little bit more innovative, because the concept of the iPod and digital music was pitched early on, but people thought it wouldn't work. Obviously, we saw that they were wrong. And now what you're seeing is people playing catch up and the industry playing catch up to try and fight that. And I don't think that regulation will ever catch up with the innovation. I think there'll always be innovation and always ways to circumvent the law. And I don't even know if there ever will be a happy balance there. I know I've given a lot of information here, covered a lot, but I think that it kind of summarizes what's in the book, a lot of it about the regulation aspect of things, but did want to give you a brief survey of digital technology, how it's impacted everyday life, and how it's even impacted the industry that I've worked in for the past 10 years, radio, where everything is digital, all of the music, and a lot of times a dirty little secret about radio is probably the person you're listening to on the radio may not even be there. They utilize a technology called voice tracking, and even for me, I can record shifts for stations several states away and pretend like it's live. And it's cost a lot of jobs. It cost my mentor his job. And it's one of those double-edged swords that I've worked in Christian radio stations that have used it and used it to be good stewards of their resources, but at the same time it can be used to eliminate jobs and create false perceptions. So I hope that this has given you a good overview of digital audio. I know I went through a lot of things very quickly, but you can read over those slides and kind of get a good synopsis of regulation, what it's done for you as a consumer, and what it means for technological innovation in the future.